Hey everyone, and welcome. Look, if you're here, you've already done all the hard work. You've got the grammar down, your vocabulary is great. You are a skilled, advanced English speaker. This is all about that final step, the one that takes you from sounding correct to sounding completely 100% natural. So let's get into it. So, let's talk about that little gap you might be feeling. You can write a perfect email for work, no problem. You can read complicated articles, but when you get into a fast, casual conversation, something just feels a little off, right? It's like you're speaking like a perfectly written book while native speakers sound like, well, a real conversation. That's the exact gap we're going to close today. Okay, here's the secret. The solution isn't buried in some other complex grammar rule you have to memorize. It's actually way, way simpler than that. The secret is all about a handful of magic words. These little fillers and shortcuts that native speakers use all the time without even thinking. They're like the glue that holds a natural conversation together. So think of this as your step-by-step guide to real fluency. Let's open up our first toolkit. We're talking about filler words. Now, a really common mistake is to think of these as, well, mistakes, or to just go completely silent when you need a second to think. But in English, these words are tools. They let everyone know you're still thinking, and they make your speech sound smooth and flowing instead of choppy and hesitant. Our first tool, and maybe the most important one, is you know. It is everywhere. Now, sometimes it's a real question, like you're actually checking if the other person understands. But honestly, most of the time, it's just a soft pause. It's a way to connect your thoughts without stopping. Let's really listen to how it sounds. Okay, listen really closely to the pronunciation here. Natives don't really say, you know. It's fast, and the words just kind of blend together. It sounds more like, ya know, and the tone is usually pretty flat. I think we should just go for it, Go on. Try saying it out loud right now. That relaxed, blended sound is totally the key. Next up is the word like. Wow, this word is an absolute powerhouse in informal spoken English. For today, we're going to focus on its biggest job in conversation, telling a story by introducing what someone said or what they were thinking. This is the secret to sounding like a natural storyteller. So instead of saying something formal like I thought or he said, in a casual story, this is what you'll hear. I was like introduces your own internal reaction, and he was like introduces the words he actually said. Let's try saying it with that kind of storytelling energy. I was like totally shocked. All right, our third tool, is going to be your best friend when you need to clarify something. You use it to instantly correct yourself or to add a little more detail to what you just said. It's such a natural way to make sure your listener gets your point without any of those awkward pauses. And this is just a perfect example of the power of I mean. Listen to the intonation. There's a little pause, and I mean is said really clearly. It's a signal that says, hold on, let me be more specific here. The first sentence by itself could mean anything, but when you add I mean as a friend, you instantly and smoothly clarify exactly what you're trying to say. Okay, let's move on to our second toolkit. I like to call these fluency accelerators. These are the informal contractions that native speakers use automatically. Seriously, think of them like the secret handshake of spoken English. You absolutely have to use them to match the speed and the rhythm of a native speaker. So this is a really, really crucial point. Probably the biggest mistake an advanced learner can make is to speak the way that they write. In an email, you'd write, I am going to. But if you say that in a conversation, it sounds a little robotic. Natives connect those words and shorten them. Getting past this habit is your #1 mission if you want to sound natural. Think of this table as your new set of flashcards. On the left, you've got the formal written English. On the right, the natural spoken version. Going to becomes gonna. Want to becomes wanna. Have got to becomes gotta. Let's just say them together real quick. Repeat after me. Gonna, wanna, gotta. Perfect. Now let's put them all together in one smooth, flowing sentence. The goal is to not pause between the words. It should really feel like one continuous sound. Try saying this out loud. I'm going to grab a coffee. Do you want to come? I gotta go soon. That seamless flow, that is exactly what native fluency sounds like. Okay, so we've covered the tools in our fluency manual. Now let's see how they all work together in a real conversation. For these next couple of slides, I just want you to listen. Your mission is to try and spot every single one of the tools we've talked about. Let's hear how it sounds when it's all put together.
All right, let's break that down. Right away, person A starts with mate. That's a super friendly, casual term, really common in the UK and Australia. Then, bam, we immediately hear one of our fluency accelerators, wanna, instead of the more formal want to. It's casual, it's friendly, and it's direct. Now look at this reply from person B. It is just packed with our tools. You've got two accelerators right back to back, gonna and gotta. This happens all the time. And then notice how they tack on that little, at the end? It just softens the whole thing, making it feel more like a friendly explanation than a flat out no. And now person A uses one of our key filler words. They say, I mean, to clarify why they're okay with waiting. And it's immediately followed by another accelerator, gonna. This just shows you how naturally these tools get woven into the fabric of everyday chatter.
And person B wraps it up with dude, which is pretty much the American English version of mate. These little friendly words, combined with all the fillers and the accelerators, are what create a conversation that feels relaxed, authentic, and connected.
So let's just quickly review the flashcards from that little dialogue. We heard two of our key fillers, all three of our main accelerators, and a couple of friendly terms. This is what natural English really sounds like. It's not about using complicated vocabulary. It's about using these super simple tools to connect your words together.
All right, we've gone through the tools, we've seen them in action. Let's get to the final and honestly the most important part of this whole guide. It's time for you to actually put this stuff into practice. This is where all this knowledge turns into a real usable skill. So here is your challenge. Imagine your friend asks you to go to the movies tomorrow. You have to say no because you need to study. Your job is to create a natural-sounding reply. Try to fill in the blanks using at least one filler, one fluency accelerator, and one friendly term. Go ahead and take a moment to think about how you'd say it. Okay, here's one way you could say it. This version uses mate, wanna, gotta, and gonna. See how it doesn't sound like a textbook answer? It just sounds like something a real person would actually say. It's polite, it's clear, and it sounds perfectly natural. Now, your version might have been different, and that is awesome too. And that really brings us to the main takeaway of this whole thing. As an advanced speaker, your goal isn't just about being grammatically perfect anymore. Your goal is natural communication. It's about connection. And using these tools lets you sound so much more authentic, which helps you build a way better rapport with anyone you talk to. So I'm going to leave you with this one last personal question. All this knowledge is only powerful if you actually use it. So out of all the tools we talked about, like, I mean, gonna, wanna, gotta, which single one are you going to make a promise to start using in your very next English conversation? Just start with one, master it, and I promise you'll be one huge step closer to sounding like a native.